What's up, people? We are back with episode 2, Violent Mike, the Violent Mike. Introducing myself, Daley Perales. We've got my man Joe the Baller. We've got Dom, the Black Panther Wooding, and we've got Postman Jazz right there. Last week we were talking about fighters' mentality, and I thought it'd be a good thing to start with mental health. Because with fighters' mentality, that plays a big part, not only in combat, with athletes, boxers, MMA fighters, but it plays a big part in life as well. And I think, us, when it comes to mental health, I have this problem myself, I'm like this. I have a problem when it comes to, opening up to another man, you know what I mean? If you got a problem, a man 9 times out of 10 wouldn't go, like, for example, Joe's been my best friend for over 20 years. I'll never go to him, and he can vouch for this. I would never go to him and go, bro, I feel depressed. I've got a problem, this and that. I just want to talk to him about boxing or football or just guy stuff, you know what I mean? So I think men, I'm not saying women don't have mental health issues. Obviously they do, and some of them, they can't go to someone else. But it's a big problem when it comes to men. We are men around this table. Yep. And I think we could start by, sharing our experiences, inspiring people, sharing our stories. You know what I mean? And I think we should do this right here, right now. And first of all, I'm going to go to Dom. When I talk, as it's mental health, and it's a big thing for me. And this is why I want all your experiences, and I want to learn about them. But Dom, when I'm talking about mental health, when I say that to you, what does that mean to you? It could be something to do with your MMA career. It could be something outside your MMA career, or it could be a bit of both, because I think they both come as one anyway, and it affects.
Yeah, for sure. Mental health is everything. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're not in a right mental mind state, you're not going to be able to do things properly or correctly as you would like to. When your mind state's in a good place, then that's when you're able to think clear and do things properly. Yeah. So mental health to me is obviously everything, and I'm sure for a lot of other people it's everything. Cause
of course.
Your mind is is the strongest thing, because your mind takes you everywhere in terms of what you do in your everyday day-to-day life. Do you get what I'm saying? But as for me, in terms of my MMA career and outside of fighting, mental health plays a huge part, especially in fighting, in MMA, boxing, or just any other sport, athletes in general, and just people outside of that field. As for me though, it's very up and down. Do you know what I mean? It's very up and down. Obviously, you have your highs and lows outside your everyday day-to-day life. My MMA career, you have your highs and lows through wins, through losses,
exactly.
Just even in injuries as well. Yeah. Different things that from outside of the sport that affect what you're doing inside the sport. Do you get what I'm saying? Because a lot of things from the outside can affect a lot of things in the inside and on what you're doing. Do you get what I'm saying?
And can you give us an experience you went through when it comes to MMA?
All right, yeah.
Like, for example, you were touching on, wins and losses, for example. You were touching on wins and losses. So tell me about, how does it feel to win? What's your mindset like? How does that feel to be a winner, first and foremost?
It's everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously you put your heart and soul in training and training in the gym, grinding in the gym, trying to get the results that you want. So obviously winning is everything. It's a euphoric feeling. There's nothing like it. Do you get what I'm saying? There's nothing like it, and it's just it leaves you feeling wanting more. Do you get what I'm saying? And wanting to better yourself. And even outside of like fighting, the way it affects me, like winning, it makes my mental health feel like in a better place. Because obviously I've done everything accordingly. I've got the results I wanted. Obviously, after the fights, I can relax and whatnot. So obviously, it's not like I've got a loss and I take a break off of training before I go back to camp, and like I'm just second guessing myself, overthinking and whatnot. So obviously a win's everything. A win's everything, and it's the best it's the best feeling in the world. And only a small amount of people on earth can get to experience that within sports and different types of fields. And obviously, losing sucks. No one likes to lose, but losing.
But you were thinking in it about losing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it feel like, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So what does it feel like? Because we all want to know what that feels like too.
Do you know what? I
That's one
can't.
of the
You know what?
toughest
I can't even touch on. I can't even say one specific word. Do you get what I'm saying? Because there's so many different emotions. Like for example, me losing a fight. There's so many different emotions. They're just like you're kind of like back to square one, and like you have to rethink things.
So I feel like you're wasting a lot of time.
Sometimes you not even sometimes. When that's happening, you end up doubting yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like you're kind of in limbo. Yeah. Like you don't know. Like you're trying to figure out things and trying to make things work for the near future. Do you get what I'm saying? Within your career, in whatever you're doing, and it's just what I can say is just you get the feeling of being in limbo, not knowing what's next, kind of thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
So you kind of find out who's there for you as well.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, people as well. Your loved ones, friends.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Stuff like that.
Say that. How do you kind of pick yourself up from that? Do you know what I mean? So like you were saying there, do you feel like you need to go to like your friends or to your family to kind of get that?
Or do you feel like you just want to be alone?
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? To be honest, like you said earlier, us as men, we don't like to come like man to man, face to face, and tell our problems. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you kind of keep it to yourself for a bit. Do you get what I'm saying? Well, until someone tries and gets it out of you. Do you get what
you're saying? Till someone gets it out of you, but give it. What's an example? Because you've experienced fights. So what's an example as like you don't want to tell or go to a friend and tell them exactly how you're feeling? Is it something from the outside? Has something happened before you got into a fight before? You know what I mean? Was things not right before going into a fight before? So that's what it could have affected the performance. And then afterwards, you know what I mean? You don't really want to tell someone what it really is. Is it that as well?
Yeah, it's that as well. Like a lot of things before even fighting, going into like when you're training for a fight, going into a fight, obviously you're going to be dealing with a lot of things outside of training and getting ready for the fight. So obviously you can even dealing with that, you can bring that into the gym and bring that into your fight within your performance, and it will show through reflection of your performance. You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things. You get what I'm saying? A lot of things. It could be from things not going right, the business side of things, friends, family, partners. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, a lot of things. A lot of things can affect your performance and stuff like that within what you're doing. Do you get what I'm saying?
I remember when I remember this is my first ever like hit about a loss when I was in school, primary school, and then I always used to be the fastest guy in the year. Anytime he had to raise ping, I was pinging him out. No one was catching me. And then so obviously my teacher said, "You know what? This guy is fast. We're taking him to all the schools come against each other and have a race, yeah."
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, fucking, I ain't lost the race. No one's pinging past me. Let's do this. Went down there. That's when life hit me. As soon as that whistle went, ping, 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 ping. Everyone just running past me. From that day, I said to myself, I'm done, because I never. That mean from starting school all day going up, no one was beating me. Going different classes, no one was beating me. Then now I'm thinking, what? So I wasn't as. It made me feel like I wasn't as fast as I thought I was. Yeah,
you weren't prepared.
I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
I went there thinking.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Do that mean I ain't losing? So then after that, I ain't done no race. Tell me race outside right now, I say because I don't feel like that again. Do you know what I mean? And that's just a sport. That's just me in primary school. So I don't know what you lot are going through.
What we're going through. There's, everyone goes through stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, everyone's different. Someone could have something so small that's wrong, but they feel it just as hard as someone that has it so tough. You know what I mean?
I felt it that day.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
100%. It's just like my small can be your big. Your big can be my small.
Yeah.
Just different levels. You get what I'm saying?
By the way, I think we should get T-shirts made of, because I'm catching on to what you do. That is a slogan, and you should trademark it. Pwah. You know what I mean? I can see that on T-shirts, bruv. Just pwah. You know what I mean? We need to use that one for T-shirts, man. Pwah.
Oh man.
Pwah. Joe, you've been my friend for over 20 years, and you know, we've definitely been through some crazy times, man. Our mental health is big in your world, because I know you went through some stuff. So what does mental health mean to you?
I think it just goes down to kind of like what you said. It means a lot of things, but obviously, you know, I can't really put my finger on what it means to me, because obviously, you know, I've been in that, let's say, that circle.
Yeah.
So I can't really put my finger on it and say this is what it means to me, because I don't know. I don't know what it means to me.
Yeah, it's just like when you're asking, what does mental health mean to you?
Yeah.
It's like you ask someone that, like even you asking me, it's like I'm thinking of so many different things. Like, you can't pinpoint one.
There's so
one
many
thing.
different
Do you
things.
get what I'm saying? You
There's
can't just pinpoint just one thing.
So that's why, bro, there's no beginning, middle, or end. So when I'm talking about mental health, you know, everyone's got to experience, no matter how small, how big, everyone's got to experience with going through mental health. It comes in all forms. You know what I mean? So you know, I know you lost your mum. How old was you when you lost your mum again?
Bloody hell, man. 13 years ago.
Yeah, because his mum is like basically like a mum to me as well. You know what I mean? Because that's how close we are. I remember, and you were playing heavy football at the time. Did that like affect you playing football for a while?
Yeah.
Like after that happened, where did you go for a while? Did you go off into a new, different world?
Yeah. So everyone deals with things differently, right? And I remember at the time I was working in Primark, actually, in London, right? And I remember when my mum died, obviously, people like to deal with things differently, do you know what I mean? So I think within a week from my mum passing away, I went straight back into work. And I remember walking in and my manager looking at me, she was like,
"What are you doing?"
"Yeah, what are you doing here? Like, you shouldn't be here." And I was like, "I want to be here." Do you know what I mean? Because it's my way. I'm not the kind of...
Not forgetting, but keeping your mind on things.
Keeping my mind going, because I know, listen, it was the worst feeling that you could ever have, is losing a parent. Seeing my mum die on her deathbed was the worst thing ever. And I remember sitting in my room for a week and I was just staring at a wall.
Yeah.
My door was locked. My door was locked. I didn't watch no TV. I'm just literally just there staring at the wall. And I thought to myself, you know what, this is not how
your mum would want
exactly.
That's how I see stuff like that.
Exactly that.
You know what I mean? Because obviously your mum would want you to be the happiest boy on the earth.
Yeah.
And you sitting there like that, do you know what I mean? If she was alive and she walked in seeing you like that, that would hurt her thinking, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I had to. That was my way of dealing with things. And like Daley said that, I'm not a man to talk about things. There's like I said, he's known me. We've known each other for 21 years, right? And I could say things he don't even know.
Yeah.
And that's not like me, because we talk about everything. Do you know what I mean? But again, it just goes back to the whole, men don't like to talk. We like to just keep things...
It's pride, yeah?
It's pride, yeah. It's probably is down to a bit of embarrassment as well. Not as in like he would think any different of me. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's the crying that's a big issue. I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
that plays a big part, because another man don't want to cry.
Yeah, because you're opening yourself up and you're leaving yourself
Yeah.
vulnerable to another person. Do you get what I'm saying? So
it's
hard, man.
I get that thing when I'm crying. I get that thing.
Yeah.
I start coughing. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to hold it in. Like, when you were saying that, you were saying, Dom, you were saying, like, that's a hard question. When I'm saying what's mental health mean to you, it's because I personally think a lot of people don't take mental health seriously, man. You know what I mean? They don't take it. There's certain things they don't take seriously when it comes to mental health. Even with the world we're living in right now. You know what I mean? They never bring up that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why it's very important to discuss mental health, man. And
yeah,
go on.
Finish. No, but you know what you're saying is true, because like back in the days, I never used to
hear much about it, innit?
You would hear it a little bit, but obviously not as much as how you'd hear it now. But it's like, me personally, like I would kind of like shun it, like rub it off my shoulder. Like in my head, I'll be thinking like, what's mental health? Like I'm cool, like I'm good. Like there's nothing wrong with me. Do you get what I'm saying? But as you get older and certain things start happening to you, you start realizing certain things.
Yeah.
And then it makes you take a step back and like, oh, like whoa, like this is serious kind of thing. And then it's like someone can say to you, like, for example, like they can ask you like, are you okay? Like, for example, like I'm gonna be real here. Like, for example, like me and my partner, like if I'm not happy with something, she'll know I'm not happy with something. So obviously she'll kind of like ask, like, are you okay? And like us being men and like macho, like we're like, nah, I'm good.
Right,
do you know what I mean? But when you start opening up, it's like it's you feel a relief. Obviously you feel a relief and whatnot, but it's just that making that jump, that stepping over that hurdle to just get out your chest. You get what I'm saying?
It's dangerous to do that because, man, when you build it up,
yeah,
some things gonna have to give, man.
Yeah,
and that's why you see so many, things, terrible things happen because it gets to that point and then bang, it's too late. It's over. There's no going back, and I've seen it for myself. You know what I mean? So, where it just come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't know they were like that. Felt like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're starting to feel guilty and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because you feel like you could have been there. Even like your mum, I felt like I could be there more for you. But at the time, I was going through some fucked up shit. As well. So mental health is a fucking fucked up thing, man. For example, with me, I'm gonna tell you straight, man. For me, it's all about, through my journey, you're gonna hear about my story. You know what I mean? Especially as a professional boxing coach and training fighters, and God willing, they'll all be world champions. And when they do that, naturally, you're gonna hear more about my story. And I want to be one of those people that no matter how tough you got it, no matter what things you've gone through, and I'm not saying, you ain't going to have mental health issues or go through depression or this and that, but you just got to find a way to stay strong so you can turn around. You basically use that fuel as your fire to be successful. So that's what I do. You know what I mean? I got put in foster care when I was 2 years old. And even now, not now, because now I think now I'm a big man now. I've got to the point where no one can tell me shit anymore. You know what I mean? So for me, back in the day though, people were like, why do you have to talk about that stuff? Why? So I keep it all in. You know what I mean? I got to a point where I'm like, who the fuck are they talking about keeping it all in? You know what I mean? This is my life, man. And if people want to hear it, you know what I mean? I'm not going to hide it. You know what I mean? And it could inspire someone as well. So I was in foster home 2 years of age with my other younger brother. He's a year younger than me. We both got put in care. We got separated at first. I guess nobody wanted to raise two babies at the time. So we were in a lot of temporary homes. And then this one foster placement decided to take us both on. So that was our main foster placement. So we got raised by two lovely white people. Let me tell you this. When I was growing up, the only thing I knew, what was kind of famous that is black, is Tupac. Because I lived in a town, bruv. I lived in a town where it was all white, yeah? And I love my white brothers. But it was all white, yeah? So me and my brothers, we stood out, you know what I mean? We had racism, but we had good friends as well. But it was lovely, a loving home. They taught me well, you know what I mean? And moving on from there, we stayed with 14 different families, man. Whoa. 14 different families. And some of them are good experiences because where it works with social services or foster placements, some of them doing it just for money. Yeah, some of them are doing it for the love. and they just get the money with it. That's their bonus. You know
So
what I mean?
wait, what was so obviously you being in different types of homes, these foster parents did they have kids or were they just taking you in as just?
Yes, so some would have kids, their own kids, flesh and blood.
So what's the most kids you've stayed with?
I can't fucking remember, bruv.
Crazy.
Children's home is probably the most because it's a children's home or almost like an orphanage.
Do you know
What was that like?
But that's just like being in school, bruv. To tell you the truth, you know what I mean. That's like being in school. You get some idiots, you get some nice ones.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know the reason why your parents?
You know, my mum says one thing, my dad says another thing.
So you're still in contact? You still talk to them then?
Yeah, but barely, man. You know what I mean? It's just
Outside,
never been right, bro. But you know what I mean? All these are life experiences. As I said, in foster home you got good ones and you got bad ones. And the bad ones, me and my brother got abused. But in the good ones they were good. You know what I mean? They done their job. And then I met him when I was about 14 years of age. Football. I first came to London, my first ever foster placement in London, bruv. Yeah? And the kids there, now you imagine you've been living in the sticks. Yeah?
Yeah.
Like a farmer land, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These other foster children goes, oh, we're going to take you down to Piccadilly.
Right.
So when I get down there, you know how we would see Las Vegas now?
Yeah.
Because I'm a kid, I saw Piccadilly as Las
All the
Vegas.
big screen
Yeah.
and that,
I was like, wow, man, what the fuck is this? I want to come and live in London. Because when I come to London, that was a temporary foster home, another temporary one.
Yeah.
But because they showed me Piccadilly, I was like, nah, social services, you have to take me back to London. I don't want to go back there, man. Take me back to London now. But I'm young, so I'm not thinking about that could be the worst thing for me. I mean, I would never have met Joe and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I went through it. You know what I mean? Or, my wife, my kids, etc. But back then, that probably weren't the best thing to do. Because back where I was in Hertfordshire, I was like focused on things.
Where was it again?
Right.
Where was it?
Where? And people go, where? Where's where? Where? I said, where?
Yeah, where?
Yeah, so it goes on for time. Where? Then you have to break shit down.
Yeah.
You know, it's in Hertfordshire. Like,
Where?
fucking map. You know what I mean?
Nowhere. No man's land.
Yeah.
But listen, bruv, listen to this. I started living on my own since 16 years of age in hostels. And then I moved on to my flat. And, I felt so alone, yeah. I was like, wait a minute, social services just chucked me in this big world at 17. Yeah. I'm in a flat. You got to sort out your bills, go shopping, everything like that. So I thought, fuck this. Joe, get your stuff, man. You're moving in, man. All hell broke loose, man, with this guy. I'm not going to go into details, but all hell broke loose when we were living together. And then I found boxing. I was doing football, but then I found boxing because I realised my older brothers were boxers. My real brothers that I've never met, really. You know what I mean? And when I come back in contact with them, they're like boxers, they're professional boxers. So I'm like, I want to be a boxer. So I was doing boxing and football at the same time. You know what I mean?
Right. That's kind of like me as well. With, was doing before I finished football. I was near the ending stage of me playing football. That's when I started MMA. So, yeah.
And then I came to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do boxing. You know what I mean? And I think the reason why I chose boxing is because I've always had it hard, man. So I like things that are hard. You know what I mean?
Of course.
You know what I mean? Tough, gritty. Because boxing, when the bell rings, you're on your own. No trainer can help you. No friends, no family members can help you. You're in that ring on your own. You understand what I'm saying, Dom?
100%.
And then when you get up and go running, whether it's raining, snowing, you're on your own. It doesn't matter if you've got a woman next to you, all nice and warm in your bed. You got to think to yourself, is she getting in the ring for you? Is she putting on those gloves for you and fighting for you? So there's a lot of things, goes into that. We would touch on it when, Fury goes away for training camps and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the reason why we go away for training camps, because not in a bad way or a rude way, a woman can affect a fighter's mental state going into a fight. You know what I mean?
That's facts, man.
And any little thing can mess them up. You know what I mean? It can be like she opens the window because she wants some air. You know what I mean? At night while they're sleeping.
I think you told me this.
You know what I mean?
I think you told me this story.
I'm not gonna tell it.
That's
Just
a
all
funny
hell broke
story,
loose
like,
just because she opened up a window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because boxers, MMA fighters,
She opened up the legs. I bet you're thinking, yeah, that is me.
No.
That isn't me.
No,
I got
it
5
wasn't
2
me.
hours. I need to get it in.
It wasn't.
Nah, not too close from a fight, man.
Let's just clarify. It was not me. Yeah, it was someone else. But yeah, they're the things that can mess you up. It could be any little thing. I remember when I was fighting one time, some guy on the underground was eating a kebab, and I was looking at him with so much hate. I was like, I want to get that kebab and ram it in your fucking face.
Days.
You know what I mean? And wipe it. Go on, eat it.
All the chili sauce, all the chili sauce
You know what
dripping
I
off
mean?
it.
Yeah, chili.
Hey, it gets like that. It gets like that when you're cutting weight, man. It sucks, man.
But yeah, I think that's the reason why I chose boxing, because you know the pain. It's just like why I like tattoos. I'm impulsive, man. If I want to do something, I'll do something. You know, so mental health is big for me. I suffer with mental health. I bet some of you here wouldn't even realise I suffer from mental health issues, or people say illness. Now I have borderline personality disorder. A lot of people be going, "What the fuck is that, man?" Or they look at me and go, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You look normal." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I got diagnosed with that because it's for the same thing I told you earlier, where as men build and build and build and build shit up to the point where it's an explosion. And that's what happened to me, to the point that there was an ambulance that came to the gym. I didn't even know it was for me. The ambulance came to the gym. And then when I got up there to unpack my stuff to start training my fighters and stuff, someone was going, "You know that ambulance downstairs, that's for you. They want to talk to you." I was like, "What?" And I went down there, the ambulance got called on me, bro.
Yeah.
So from there, that's when I was like, all right, it's time to sort myself out. And it's not that I was, I'm a bad person or anything like that.
Yeah.
Nothing of a sort. It's my experiences from childhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So borderline personality disorder, the biggest trait is childhood trauma. And you carry all that trauma and it comes over into your adult life. And people with borderline personality disorder, they're very sensitive to emotions. So your moods can change rapidly, about 100 times in one day. You can have so many different moods and personalities going on.
I felt that when I walked in, because I spotted you, you seem a bit... When I spotted me, I was thinking, what's wrong with him?
Mate, it's because you was late, that's
No,
why.
That's the thing. When I bang at the sweets, he's like, "Oh, what? What? There's sweets?" That's when I thought, yeah, that's him.
But that's what it's like, man, because people, when they meet me, I've even had a client that I'm training, when she said, once she got comfortable with me, she was like, "You know, when I first met you, I didn't know whether to approach you, but you looked like you wanted to kill someone." And that's just my...
Do you know what? When I first met you, you looked like that as well. Because I remember you was training, obviously you was coaching and teaching at my gym.
Yeah.
So obviously before we got working, I was sussing you out, seeing like...
You called Nathan and said you were a prick as well.
I can be sometimes.
Yeah, he can be sometimes, but yeah, you came across like that to me as well. Obviously up until we started working together, and after I thought to myself, I like him. Good guy.
This is the thing though, like you said, people will look at you and think he's just a normal guy. And this is the thing with mental health.
He was the one that had to like kind of calm me down, because I never told him anything.
Yeah. And
I kept it from him, and he found out through my wife.
Right.
He found out.
Yeah.
And I'm just about to, can you believe this, bruv? I'm about to get on a plane to my fighter's fight in Denmark. Why I'm going through all this shit. Having a breakdown, you know, crying on the phone to him, you know.
And this is the thing, because his wife called me, right? And it was just a random call. Now, I haven't spoke to his wife for ages, kind of thing. She was like crying on the phone. She's like, "Joe, you need to speak to Daley." And I was like, "What's wrong?" Obviously, as a friend, I'm gonna think, "Oh, what? She's crying. What's wrong?" Kind of thing. So she told me, she's like, "I don't think he's in a good way." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Okay, so where is he?" Kind of thing. She was like, "Oh, he's about to go on a flight." I was like, "Oh, thanks for letting me know," kind of thing. I mean, he's just about to go on a fucking flight. So I called him straight away. I said, "Listen, I'll call you back." And then obviously he was with I don't know who.
My fighters. I had to
you
go
were the fighters,
I had to go to the because I was breaking in
Yeah,
front
so
of them.
so
So I had to go to the toilet in
On
the
the plane.
in the airport.
Oh, right, okay.
You know what I mean?
And I said to him, I said, look, just be honest with me. Like, I'm your best friend, kind of. We're like brothers, you know what I mean? And I said, you can tell me anything. I'm not gonna. And then that's obviously when he told me what he was.
And that's why boxing's a big part for me, bro. Because when I got to Denmark, I was still fucked up. But then as it gotten close, we done the weigh-in the day before when things started to get real like the fight. I put my game face on and I just put it to a side, man. So no one would have known. You know what I mean? And you know what? It was a bit hard to hide. So what I done is I told my fighter the truth, man. Yeah. Because I've known him for years anyway. I've coached him for years.
That's the best thing you can do, so you can get a better understanding of each other.
Yeah, so I told him, man. And then after that, when I got back to Denmark, I had a psychiatrist.
Right.
Yeah, do a whole assessment on me. It took about 2.5 hours, and just said, you're diagnosing you with borderline personality disorder. But it just means, brother, I'll give you an example of what it means. If Joe, for example, let's say, never called me for like 2 days, or never even messaged for 2 days, that would straight away, where someone would be like, oh, he could, you know what I mean, you talk whenever. Me, I think, oh, what's going on? You know what I mean? Have I done something? You know what I mean? If my wife don't say she loved me, for example, enough, then I think she's gone off me, or she wants to leave, or whatever. So it's like, that's why it's childhood trauma, and because of foster homes, it's like abandonment issues. You know what I mean? It's to do with abandonment issues and tense emotions. You've got to regulate your emotions. So the therapy I have once a week now is to understand borderline personality disorder, and for someone like myself, it's to manage triggers. If I have a trigger, that's when it could be fucked up. Everything fucked up. So I've got to learn to manage the triggers, and it could be something as down this scale, small, or something extreme. And something small could be he wearing a pair of trainers. I look at them and go, I'm buying them right now. And then I'll go ahead and buy them. So that's just a small level.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Jazz, you know what? You strike me as a family man. You know what I mean? Like that. When I go on your Instagram, that's what I see. Like family and love. You know what I mean?
You didn't see my funny videos.
Huh?
You didn't see my funny videos.
Not yet.
I didn't get one.
Who's got the funniest videos?
It's
No.
No, I'm just saying, as you know, when you go on someone's page, but you just see it just like that, and you see a few posts like this. Yeah. From the moment I see that, he takes me as a family man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the same thing. When I look at you,
you know what I mean?
I think the same thing.
You see love on the page, but with love comes lots of ups and downs. You know what I mean? You must have experienced something in life, man. We all do.
Soon as you said that, my belly just went funny. You know what I mean? When you think about it, I'm only 20. I'm 25, and I've always lived my life in the fast lane. I've always done like when I was like 14. I used to work in a nightclub, and then from then that was when my life just went boom. I went from 14 to 18, and then from so on, I always used to hang around with older people. I always used to be with older girls and everything else. So I never really lived my young life. And then it got to the point where I was at home, and then I used to see like my mum and my stepdad. I used to see a lot of stuff was happening to my mum, but I was still young, so I didn't know what was happening, but I knew what was happening, but I didn't know how to approach it or anything. Do you know what I mean? But then I always used to blame it on my mum.
What do you mean? I knew what was happening? Like, what was it?
Like my mum used to get abused and stuff from.
Oh, okay.
And then, but obviously I was only young, so I didn't know what to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I always because I liked him, I feel like it's my mum's fault. All I heard is her shouting. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously he's not going to do it while I'm in the house. So all I heard is her shouting at him, and I just went, so why are you shouting? And then when my mum actually did finally tell me what actually happened, it made me feel like, and I didn't do nothing about it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I couldn't do nothing about it.
Guilty.
Yeah. So like up to this day, I hate the guy. But me growing up, and then who I'm with now, she changed my life completely around, because my My first ever girlfriend, it was just all a lie. It was together for 2 years. It was just all a lie. I was a compulsive liar. I've learned to be a compulsive liar. From as I said, I was living a life that wasn't me. I was thinking I was this age. I was doing things that wasn't me. Right? So I just lived a lie for years and years. Anything you ask me, you can ask me something right now, and I'll just lie. I'll just lie. Straight up, I'll just lie about it. I was like, your car right there? Straight away, right when thinking, I'll say, yeah. That's how I live my life. So this girl I was with, she thought I was the life I'm living. I'm living an older life. So she's 18, I'm 16, but for me to keep what I'm doing and everyone I'm around the way it is, I have to lie. So I have to keep up with these lies, and then
to keep your image.
To keep my image.
Yeah.
To keep all my friends, all the people that know me, and then, do you know what I mean? And then so we was together for 2 years, a year, and she didn't even know who I am.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who I was. And then she found out my age, and then she let it slide, but she said, you don't have to lie. And I was like, okay, yeah. And I thought to myself, oh, because I need to stop lying then. I was so deep into it, just kept lying. And then I lied about something else, and then she broke up with me. She said to me, if you told me the truth, we still would have been together. Lovely girl. And then when I met Nicole, then my wife now, I remember this is when my life changed. I remember I was outside the club. This is when I asked her to be my girlfriend as well. I came to meet her. She never asked me about my age or nothing. I came to O'Neill's in Beckenham. Got my ID out. The guy said, "You're too young, mate. 25 and over. See you later." I thought, fuck.
Got found out.
So I walked down the road and I thought to myself, this is when shit gets real. You really like this girl. You know what I mean? And she makes you feel a different way that you've never felt before. So if you call her up now, what do? Do you tell her the reason why you can't get in? Or do you do what you've been doing for your whole fucking life?
Yeah.
Just lie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't get, you just lie. So what do you do? And I told her my real age, and she just said, wait there, I'm going to try to get you in. And she got me in. And then I started realising, look what, do you know what I mean? Look where you get
when you tell the truth.
by telling the
Yeah.
truth. Look where you get, do you know what I mean? So now,
yeah.
and then so, even so from me just telling that one truth, I've got 2 kids now. My life is the best I've ever, do you know what I mean? Like when you've got kids, we're all kids apart from you, yeah? And when you get kids, you'll realise, just watching I said it to Nate the other day, just watching your kids play in the front room.
It's a blessing, right?
That's life.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
People want to know what life is made for. Making memories in a family, as a family, that's life.
Yeah.
And then also coming from what I live in that lie, and then changing my life around from what I used to be and what I am now. It's like this happened literally just last year. I was in a dark place, and I couldn't. And the bad thing is I couldn't tell you why. I couldn't explain why. And the job I do, being a postman, what I do as a postman, I'm walking up and down. So when you're walking, you're thinking.
Yeah.
So every single day I'll wake up, put my uniform on, I'll go to work. I'm thinking for 4 hours about me being like this, stressed, depressed. Yeah. I don't know why I feel like this though. It's because I came from what I used to be like to what I got now. And I'm so proud of myself, but I don't see nothing else happening. Do you know what I mean? Like I used to be skinny, and then I started going to the gym. I started looking alright, and then my girlfriend, everyone said to me, "Jazz, you're looking alright." You know what I mean? Look what you got muscles on you, nothing like that. So, and I just feel like, no one's told me like, oh, you got 2 kids, how you doing it? Like, and I feel like no one's telling me nothing. So I'd just be walking, not listening to nothing. Like it's crazy. And then after all that, I'll go home, and I'll take it out on my missus and my kids. And my kids want to play with me. I can't even play with them because do you know what I mean? I'm just in this place.
It's crazy what one thing that could be said to you could make your day. Like your whole day. It's crazy, isn't it? Like you don't know how much you can be affecting.
Yeah. And then
individuals.
Going back to the thing about being a man, it's like I'll go home and I'll take it on my missus. My missus will say to me, "What is wrong?" And I never explain to her how I felt or nothing like that. I'll just argue. Yeah. And then I'll go back to sleep. And then wake back up. It's like a cycle. And it goes again. Yeah. And this was for a good month. And then it got to a point where my missus was just breaking down. Yeah. And she physically said to me, "I can't do this anymore, Jazz." And then she started crying, and then she walked out. Yeah. And then when she walked out, it made me feel myself, look what you're doing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Look what you're doing to not just to yourself, to your family. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause obviously my kids have seen me like this.
Yeah.
And then she seen me. You know what I mean? And I feel like the only person that can get me out of this is yourself. Because this whole time I was thinking, why isn't she helping me? She couldn't help me because she didn't know. Do you know what I mean? I didn't tell her how I felt. Do you know what I mean? She didn't know. But I kept thinking, why shouldn't I help you? You're the only person to help me.
Yourself, yeah.
And then
This is the thing. It's like when you try to help people in different situations, you can give them all the help that they want.
yeah.
But you have to want to help yourself. You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
100%.
You have to. Otherwise, you're just going to be in that vicious circle where you just keep going round and round and round.
Like you said about when you was in your room. That happened when I was in that place. I'll drive somewhere. I'll drive to work or whatever, and I'll sit in my car and I'll be looking at the window, just watching the cars go by for no reason.
Yeah.
For no reason, you can't explain. Do you know what I mean? You can't explain it. And then even on top of that, I was going through a gambling problem as well, because I was gambling. But then I slowed down on gambling and I stopped gambling. But when I have fights with my girlfriend, she'll bring up like, oh, well, you're just a gambler. I'm thinking, I've stopped. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't tell her I've stopped or whatever. So I'm thinking, I've stopped what I'm doing. You're still moaning about something that got me in. You know what I mean? In this position. So I feel like if I spoke to her about it before, she'll understand that's the subject. Do you know what I mean? So then, but with all this, I'm a raw person. I'm the realest person you can meet. Like, I'm not embarrassed to tell anyone nothing because it's life. When we was all born and God came down and said to you, look, if you want to come into this life, you bring out a piece of paper, go around the whole place and say all this stuff can happen to you. Everything that happened to you, everything you told us today, that can all happen. Everything you've been through, that can all happen. Everything you've been through, that can all happen. You still say, I'll take the chance. I'll live this life. Because it's all life. And then when you think about it, everything that's happened to all of us, it's happened for a reason.
Yeah.
You going through what you went through has brought you to London, Piccadilly,
Vegas.
Vegas,
you know what I mean?
London.
And then all of that you went through, now you've got your beautiful family, you've got your best friend. Do you know what I mean? Everything you went through with your mum and that,
But
you look at you now, you must, do you know what I mean? Everything
you know
you
what?
go through, everything happens for a reason. You've got to be happy for it, you've got to be grateful for it, because it's always going to be someone in a worse position than you.
Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah.
know-
And there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
What you're
Always.
saying is absolutely right, but then sometimes for me is probably sound a bit deep, but sometimes I look in the mirror, right, and if I stare for a certain amount of time when I'm looking at myself, and then I'm thinking to myself, who the fuck am I? You know what I mean? I feel lost right now. You know what I mean?
You ask yourself,
Yeah, I'm asking,
what's my
what
purpose
the
in
fuck,
this life?
man?
Do you get what I'm saying?
I feel so lost, you know what I mean? And I remember my wife asked me a question, and she said, I'm going to ask you lot the same question. I want your answers on this. Because I couldn't fucking answer it. And ever since then, that was probably about 2 months ago now, and ever since then it plays on my mind every day. She said, take us out of the equation, like meaning her and the kids. And she asked me, what makes you happy? And then that's exactly how I was like. I was like, what? Yeah.
It's kind of like you.
What does make me happy?
It's kind of like you ask us, what does mental health mean to you?
Yeah. It was.
You
it was
have
like that.
just different chambers open up in your mind, and you just
was fucked
can't
up, man.
pinpoint. Yeah.
It was fucked up. Like, what makes you happy? Then I was thinking, boxing makes me happy, but then again,
But if you take away boxing,
I'm doing it because but you know what it is for me for boxing, yeah. I think I was just meant to be.
It's because
a
it's your
coach.
life. You know, I feel the
just
same
meant to
way
be a coach,
with
you know what
MMA.
I mean?
I feel the same way. It's like
So it ain't about just love on its own. It's just
yeah,
like
for sure,
I was meant to do this.
for sure.
That's how I see it.
I remember even Nathan. I remember when I was younger, and I always used to look up to Nathan. Because obviously I always thought I was like I was like his little brother. So I always had to feel like I had to keep up with him. Do you know what I mean? I had to make him look at me like I'm Nathan's brother.
Who Nathan? What Nathan are you talking about?
Nathan, you don't know Nathan.
I'm joking. For everyone that don't know, Nathan he's sitting over there.
Yeah.
Man. So that's who we're talking about.
So I used to look
Big
up to
part
him.
of the team.
Like,
We'll get him on the podcast.
Yeah. So I used to look up to him,
Sometime
and then I remember when he went away, his friends used to call. So now when he went away, they used to look at me now like they used to call me like Nathan's graph. Like, so I thought to myself, shit, like I need to like, this is me now. I need to step up. And I remember I got into a sticky something happened, and I saw my friend pass away. And that day I thought to myself, this ain't me. Like me, I'm not made for this. This ain't me. And then I just feel like once you find yourself who you really are, it's like my girlfriend when Nathan come out of jail. I was a geezer then. I turned into a geezer. When I went to school, I
still are a geezer.
I'm a geezer. I went to a white school.
Yeah.
And that's when I turned into a geezer. All my friends were white and everything else. So then.
Oh, is that why? Is that why you got the coconut on your bio on your Instagram?
I thought you would have known.
Oh, man, nah,
So then it got to the point where Nathan didn't know I was a geezer. He still thought I was a roadman. When you're calling me,
so he's looking at you like,
when he's calling my phone, or I see him in that, my missus would be next to me. I'd be like, yeah, babe, that fucking went down to the pub the other day. Right there. So what are you saying, brother? No. Fam, are you mad?
I feel his pain, you know, because when I grew up in that white town.
And then I lock off the phone. I'm like, the fucking geezer. Fucking not. No. I totally OD. Oh, wait there. Fucking what? He's calling me back.
oh, man.
I'll call my bedroom now. Alright, cool. Yeah, fucking OD. I just think and then my missus said to me, what the fuck are you doing? You think I did this witness what you just done? And then I just started realising you got to be yourself, because even now, like me standing now, like Nathan, he loves me for who I am now. Do you know what I mean? You just always got to be yourself. And then once you find yourself, I tell you now, like even though I was depressed like last year, but once you find yourself, you like, I'll never be in that situation ever again, because
you didn't like it.
You didn't like it, and why would you want to put yourself in that position? You know what I mean? Even when I stopped gambling, I read up about the symptoms of gambling. When I stopped gambling, it was really hard for me. I read up the symptoms, and it was saying like depressed and blah blah blah. And I remember driving home, and I started crying. And my missus right now started crying. And she said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Do you know what? It's because I don't want to be in that situation again, where I was in that dark place when I was depressed. I don't want to go into that situation, and I'm scared to be in that situation because." It took me a long time. It took me a long time to get out of the situation, and I didn't even know how I got out of the situation. So if you go back in that situation, how are you gonna get back out of the situation? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I said to myself, no, like you know yourself, Jazz. You know what I mean. You're not made to think. I'm always happy all the time. So that's why when I was depressed, no one knew what to do because they never witnessed it, never thought it was coming. So sad things will happen.
Yeah, for sure.
But so what makes you happy?
Can't really pinpoint that one, man.
Right. Wanking, good. What makes you happy, bruv? Too long.
I can't pinpoint it, man. I just can't pinpoint it.
What makes you happy?
Without saying my son.
Yeah.
I think just life, man. Just being on this earth.
Imagine,
yeah, that's a good one. Why did I say that?
Actually, yeah, you know what? Being blessed to wake up every single day.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing. Do you get what I'm saying? So
even drive down the motorway looking at it. Like, I'm only 25, bro. I'll go on holiday and I'll rather sit down and look at a view and think to myself, look at life.
Yeah.
Look at life. Do you know what I mean? You've got to appreciate every moment. There will be ups and downs. There will be
ups and downs.
But you can't make something happy being in that situation, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you stay happy, everything will be happy, do you know what I mean? And
then how you hit, about how you get here, and keep moving forward. That's how it is done. Hey, yo, Adrian!
You being happy, the people around you will be happy.
Yeah.
So, what the story is.
That's right.
Look, I think at the end of the day, we've had our experiences.
Yeah.
And we've come through it to where we are now.
Yeah, we're
strong.
strong.
And that's it. You've just got to, like you said, you just got to find yourself, and for me, you got to love yourself as well.
Got to love yourself.
For sure.
Love yourself, find yourself, and good things will happen, man. Do you know what I mean?
What a show, guys! And I just want to end it like this. Listen, because of that subject there and what we touched on, just all promise me. Let's put our hands in. All promise. No matter what, if something's up, something's wrong, you know, just talk to one another. You know what I mean? That's how men should be these days. Don't be afraid to do it as well. Great show. Tune in next week. Anyone that's suffering any mental health issues or finding things difficult, you can always ring the 111 number, NHS, and the Samaritans there always help you out. So remember that. We're all here for you.